Comfort.
Sandbox.
Coffee.
Focused.
Collecting.
Deep water.
Picket fence.
Pouring.
Frightened.
Stirring.
Drawing.
Someone talking.
Throwing.
Pounding.
Starry night.
Tonsils out.
Memory.
Tying.
Soaring.
Blocking.
Shots.
Boredom.
Flying.
Invalid.
Lose control.
Bats.
Multitasking.
TV.
Tantrum.
Uncertain.
Star.
Falling.
Running.
Strong.
Pushes my buttons.
Rock hard abs.
Boogeyman.
Evil geniuses.
Balls.
Annoys me to death.
Health and beauty.
Sunset.
Tight control.
Safe.
Pick up the cross.
Ghost letter.
Remember.
Tandem jump.
Cello.
Domesticated chimp.
Go-kart.
Fall apart.
Covering my eyes and running.
Nervous.
Nightmare pirates.
Singing.
Floating.
Falling leaves.
What was your earliest memory?
My earliest memory is of my great-grandmother, Moselle Chisholm Cunningham. She died 3 years ago at age 103.
When I was little, I had a little stuffed lamb. When I got tired, I would sit down and hold my little stuffed lamb and suck my thumb.
When I was about 5 or 6, me and my friends made something called duck soup. We didn't make it out of duck. We made it for the ducks.
She lived with us until I was age 7.
It gave me a lot of comfort.
We would get rocks, stones, leaves, dirt, tin cans, newspaper, and anything else we could find.
Before pre-K, she was my sitter or caregiver, and I was her shadow.
Then we would pour in the water while Rachel stirred and Emma threw in the sticks and leaves and everything else we had found.
Sometimes I would pull the hair off and I would make fuzz balls out of it.
We would drink coffee and watch soap operas together. But my coffee was basically milk with just a hint of coffee to make it a caramel color. But I just knew I was drinking coffee.
Then we would leave it out overnight and see if the ducks came.
And it has its eyes closed, so it's a praying stuffed animal, and I used to sleep with it all the time.
But they never did.
We drank out of these disposable solo cups. Often we threw the cone shape away, but she reused them as well. That is my earliest memory of being with my great-grandmother, drinking coffee, watching soap operas, and feeling loved.
It kind of felt like I was safe and warm and cozy.
One day I told my father my earliest memory, and it went like this. I am sitting in a sandbox.
When I was 3, I was playing with my blocks, and my dad taught me how to build a fort.
I was looking past a picket fence while an old lady spoke to me.
After I learned, I went crazy. I built fort after fort after fort.
There was an old lady next door, said my father. But you couldn't have possibly remembered that. You were way too young.
I just love playing with those shiny Mega Blocks. They look so cool.
My father was not into validating my memories. He had his own.
I remember my dad saying he remembers teaching me how to build a block fort.
I hope I never made my son feel that way.
When you were a young child, what were you most afraid of?
Well, one time, I really still believe in ghosts, but I'm starting to wear off it. One time, my older sister and her friends read me a ghost story, what my sister has. And so one night when I went to bed, I was all snuggled up, but it was dark. And so I started seeing stuff in the dark, and I started seeing stuff from my imagination. So I thought there was real ghosts, so I said, I got to give the ghosts a letter so they won't hurt me and I won't hurt them. Dear ghost friend, I won't hurt you. I only hurt my sister when I get mad at her. Do you want to be my friend? Please meet me at 8:30 in the middle room. Love, Caroline, your friend.
I guess it'd be clowns. I suppose it all started when I was about 7 and I watched Stephen King's It. That clown was so scary. He had sharp teeth and long nails. I was always afraid he would grab my legs. Maybe I'd be laying in bed trying to go to sleep and he'd grab me. Well, you know.
The most terrifying nightmare I ever had was when I was in kindergarten. I was lying in bed one night and the closet door opened and I saw 6 to 8 pygmy pirates in my closet. They were dressed in striped shirts and a pirate hat and patches on their eyes. They had swords on their sides. They came running out after me and they brought a stretcher and they threw me on the stretcher and then they ran around the room, around the walls, and up on the ceilings. And then they dropped me on the bed when they were finished with me. I was terrified.
When I was little, I wasn't really afraid of anything. I was kind of the go-lucky, fearless type. And now I'm afraid of getting my privileges taken away, like the phone and the computer. Because if I don't talk to my friends, I'm really out of the loop. Like this one time, there was a huge party coming up and I didn't hear about it because I had gotten my privileges taken away. And so I didn't get to go. I was so mad. It just made me so upset. It was the biggest party of the year.
What am I afraid of now? The answer is still failure. However, I can say being single forever. I often joke that when I'm old and feeble, where is that husband to take care of me? Or when I go into the nursing home, where are the children to visit me? Right now I can take care of myself. But when I get sick with a bad cold, I must get my own chicken soup, roll out of bed to get my own orange juice, and go to the drugstore in my pajamas to get my own medicine. Many of my married girlfriends must do the same thing, not only for themselves, but for their families also. So am I better off? I know the grass is not always green on the other side, but just so you know, I have to cut the grass too.
What gave you the most pleasure when you were little?
Drawing, because I love to draw dogs because they're my favorite animal, and flowers. And I love nature. It's beautiful and pretty. I love to play outside so I can play with my friends and everyone. We went on a train ride for 4 hours. And so we got to see like caves up in the mountains and all of these Indian stuff and the leaves falling and how they change colors. And it was really cool. Falling leaves.
I pretended I was a star in a TV show like Leave It to Beaver, and the whole day was being filmed. I pretended that I was a superhero and saved the earth on a daily basis. Many of my dreams were flying. Sometimes I thought I could really fly. I attacked evil, invented tanks, submarines designed to defeat evil geniuses. I wanted to dig a big hole in the backyard and fill it with sea creatures. I thought I could train myself to fly by hanging on a rope. I fought World War II over and over. I was Zorro, Davy Crockett, the Lone Ranger, or a Civil War soldier. I was feared around the block.
Believe it or not, balloons gave me the most pleasure when I was younger. Department stores, restaurants, and grocery stores gave kids balloons, the same as they do now. I always had to have a balloon, or I would have a mild tantrum, which my mom would quickly end by telling my sister, "Go get your sister a balloon. Yellow, red, blue, or green. The color did not matter, just as long as I had a balloon." Tantrum. There were some occasions when my mom just did not tie the balloon around my wrist tight enough, and the balloon became unraveled and flew away. Another tantrum would come as if I had lost a best friend. I was happy just with a simple balloon. I wish now that it only took a balloon to make me happy and smile. Life is much more complicated now.
What haven't you done yet that you would really like to do?
The thing I always wanted to do was to skydive. I'm standing in the plane thinking, I can't do this. I could die. I couldn't stop shaking. Well, I just held my breath, and I just leaped out of the plane. I was losing all control, spiraling through the air. My heart was pounding like crazy. As I'm soaring through the air, I felt this tingling joy. And soon, I saw the ground coming closer, and closer, and closer. And all I thought was, I gotta get my parachute. And when I'm floating to the ground, all I wanted to do was just to do it again.
What angers or irritates you the most?
My little sister. She annoys me to death. She really pushes my buttons.
You get everything what you want and I don't.
You run in front of the TV while I'm watching it.
You steer the remote back from me.
Well, you steal it first.
When you play tricks on me, I hate it.
You wake me up in the morning, and I hate that too.
You always wear my jewelry.
Well, you criticize my penmanship.
And you boss me around.
You scare my friends.
Do not.
Do too.
Working is a fact of life, like breathing, eating, and going to the bathroom. But after 30 years of working, I'm just another guy who's been beat up and down, and I'm just tired, I guess.
Right now, what makes me angry is my dad. I love him, but he has high blood pressure and high cholesterol and doesn't take his medication like he should. And that frightens me.
I've always thought that there was something more deep inside, but nobody has felt the need to employ all of me. Lately, I've been on a desperate search for something to make sense of my life when everything else has failed to satisfy. Midlife crisis, maybe.
You know what inspires me? I cannot just answer it with one word. It's God, family, friends, a new year, a new day, myself, great historians, the color green, anything positive. It's not just one thing that inspires me, it's a combination. Some days it's harder to be inspired, but I just don't want to give up on me nor life ever.
I hope to reveal some part of me that has remained dormant for my entire life. I wonder now if I should just let it die and become a typical old man with some memories.
I have no fear that I want to conquer by jumping out of a plane. You know, I just think it'll be fun to feel the free fall jump, then have the parachute lift you up, and then float to earth.
At the same time, I am also afraid of what I might find. Maybe that the special thing inside never existed at all. It has come to this. I need to know, one way or the other, before there is nothing left of me.
What inspires
The
you?
hardest thing that I've ever had
I
to do
used to have
was perform
this,
in my last year's school
But
talent show.
it used to be
But when I said
Today, what gives me pleasure, this might be a crazy
What is the hardest
but right
thing
now
you've
it's
ever
exercise.
had to do?
When we lived on the Cape, the whole backyard was the same box.
I
I was looking at
tell my
the
friends,
picket
I said,
fence,
Mom,
and
I
all
wanna
the
go
folks.
What are you most proud of?
I became like a domesticated chimp. Dangerous.
What makes you laugh?
super nervous.
They're these giant Lego blocks.
But I keep
Playing
calling
loud.
Cool and tight control.
What frightens you now?
I know there is an ab wanting to come out. Some people are
Getting up to go to work.
I mean,
What stops you from
Memorize
doing what you
Strong
really want to do?
yes.
right now I feel healthy and beautiful.
Hello? Can everybody hear me?
Who do you most admire?
You have no
It
idea.
really hurts.
One of my orchestra teachers was there.
Not, it was
I don't believe
What do you like most about yourself?
Closet to get me.
I think it'd be like soaring to
Cover my eyes
I know
when
the
it
feel of
frightens
his
me
hand.
anymore.
It has been said that human beings are nothing more than storytellers. Stories comprise our greatest works of literature, give us strength, a sense of continuity, and our very identity. Each of us has something to say no matter our circumstances of existence. Some of us communicate through emotions, not words, and tell our stories through images, movement, and sound. As we live our lives, we become our stories and they make us who we are. collectively and individually. And as the tides of lives ebb and flow through time, as the waves of catastrophe buffet us to and fro, we survive yet and have another story to tell.